Welcome to Link Up and Learn with LiveBig. I'm Sarah. Today we're talking about how telehealth is helping NDIS participants access allied health support in a way that's more flexible and convenient. Over the past few years, many of us have started meeting our doctors and clinicians over video calls. But for people with disability, this shift represents more than convenience. Telehealth brings therapy and support into the home and opens up new possibilities. It raises some questions. Is it easy to use? Is it as effective as meeting in person? Today, we chat with Cindy and Selena, two of LiveBig's clinicians who've been supporting participants and delivering therapy via telehealth. They'll walk us through what this looks like in practice. Welcome both. To begin, I'd love to ask you, Selena, for someone who might have heard about it but doesn't quite know, what exactly is telehealth and how does it work?
Thanks, Sarah. So telehealth basically means getting your health or therapy service remotely, and you're using technology instead of meeting in person. So in practice, this looks like supporting at home where you're connecting with your provider through a video call so you don't have to travel. It's a real-time appointment, just like a regular session, but it's happening on your computer or your tablet or your phone. It's also provided in different formats, so it could be via video where you're seeing each other through an app, or just by audio on your telephone if video isn't possible or if it's not preferred. And the goal is that you get interactive quality care, you talk with your clinician, you do activities, working on your goals all through the screen or your phone. All you need is a device with internet, a camera, microphone, or just a phone line is fine. We'll talk more about the setup and we can make sure people have the support they need to get started.
Yeah, that makes sense. Now, Cindy, could you share some of the benefits of telehealth for NDIS participants and their families? Why do people choose telehealth?
So there are quite a few advantages to telehealth. It can really make life easier for the participants and their family. So we know some of the key benefits are that there's no travel. So the clinician doesn't have to travel and the participant also doesn't have to travel long for appointments. So this saves them time, money, and energy. They don't have to sit in long traffic, or they don't have to arrange for transport if they don't drive. It's really helpful for those participants that live in rural or remote areas, and also for those with any mobility difficulties as well, where it's hard for them to travel from one place to another. So they can do these sessions in the comfort of their own home, and they can just feel more relaxed at home. They don't have to wait in waiting rooms. We know that that can be quite stressful for those participants who has anxiety or sensory overload. So telehealth removes that barrier, which makes it easier for them to engage openly as they're in a safe space. Telehealth is also good in the sense that your scheduling is quite flexible because neither you or the clinician needs to travel. So it's easier to find an appointment time that suits your schedule. So you can align sessions time to fit around your everyday routine, such as organize it during your school pickups, organize it during work, or just whatever works for you. And because there's no travel, it's just kind of easier, and you'll have more time to organize the sessions throughout the day with the clinician. Telehealth also gives you access to clinicians who don't live in your area. So you can connect with clinicians from another state or another city. And this is really great because then you've got more options. It is also good utilization of your NDIS funding as well, because telehealth sessions cost the same as in person according to the NDIS price guide, but there are no travel charges added. So that means your planned budget will go directly into the therapy time rather than covering a clinician's travel time. So you're getting more value from your funding.
Yeah, that does sound really convenient. Are there particular types of services or therapies under the NDIS that work really well with telehealth? And what kind of supports can participants access this way?
So there are a wide range of NDIS supports that can be delivered via telehealth nowadays. For example, therapies and clinical services. Most allied health services can be done through telehealth. This includes psychology sessions, speech therapy, occupational therapy, physiotherapy, and more. Clinicians might guide exercises or activities over video. They could observe you or your child in the home setting. They can talk through strategies just as they would do in person, and they can do a lot of interventions via video and phone. It's also good for counselling, so mental health support is something that works very well over the phone or video. And sometimes talking to a counsellor from the comfort of your home can actually make it easier for some people to open up. Support coordination meetings and multidisciplinary team meetings are also things that can be handled remotely. So sometimes even NDIS plan reviews and other planning meetings can also be done via video call, and this means that your clinician can easily join these meetings, which gives better results for participants. The other thing is assessments. So it is a case by case, but a lot of assessments can be done via telehealth. For example, interviewing clients or caregivers where you have to ask a lot of questions or you're observing via video. But if a test does require hands-on interaction, it might need an in-person session. But generally anything that doesn't require physical contact can be adjusted for telehealth. But truly hands-on things like mobility tests, they can be harder to do remotely. So in these cases, providers might use a hybrid approach where they're doing some telehealth and some in-person just to ensure that you get what you need.
Yeah, that's great to know. Now, we often talk about the importance of family in someone's support network. How can family members or support workers be involved during telehealth sessions? Is it harder or easier for them compared to face-to-face sessions?
So telehealth sessions are really convenient, so it can actually make it easier for families and the support network to be involved. So because the sessions are online, the parent, the sibling, the caregiver, or other support network can just join in remotely from where they are. So they can either be with the participant at home or they can dial in from another location where they are. So this just makes it easier and more convenient for everyone because no one has to travel to the same place, so it simplifies coordination. It also offers real-time coaching. So during the sessions, the family members can watch and learn from the clinicians' techniques and strategies. So some examples include a parent might learn some strategies and therapy activities that they can do at home with the child as home practice, or a carer can learn some strategies to assist the client with, or some extra exercises to work with the client as well. So they pretty much get real on-time training with the participant during these telehealth sessions as well. The family can also make sessions more effective, and so then it will be more of a collaborative approach, and we can provide more holistic care for the participants. And then it becomes more of a team effort because everyone's on the same page and everyone can be there to listen to the strategies that's being implemented and utilized. And we can also discuss about how the participant is going with their family and support network. It also makes it convenient to schedule for the support network and the carers as well, because telehealth can reduce the burden on caregivers too. So, for example, the parents can just dial in during their work break for like a video therapy session rather than having to take time off work to drive to a clinic. So it reduces travel time and just makes it a lot more convenient for family and caregivers.
Those are really wonderful benefits. Still, some people might wonder, is telehealth as effective as seeing as a clinician in person? Does it really work just as well? What have you found in practice?
That's a really common question. And the good news is that for many types of support, telehealth works just as well face-to-face and sometimes even better, depending on the person and the situation. For example, it's been proven as effective. So numerous studies have found that telehealth to be as effective across various disciplines. So it's not just the second best option, it's actually well-established mode of therapy now. Comfort can actually boost engagement. So some individuals actually engage more through telehealth. So if a participant loves computers or feels more at ease at home, they might actually participate more actively online than they would in an unfamiliar clinic. One of our colleagues at LiveBig mentioned that certain clients who are shy in person really blossom over video. They actually find it less intimidating, almost like a safe bubble where they can focus better. Consistency leads to progress. As we mentioned, telehealth can reduce cancellations, which is really great. So over time, attending sessions regularly, thanks to that convenience, can help maintain momentum towards goals. So indirectly, telehealth can improve outcomes just by making sure people stick with their therapy plans consistently. And the other thing is adapted techniques. So clinicians have adapted their techniques to telehealth format. They'll use interactive tools like screen sharing, digital whiteboards, fun apps for kids. Sometimes we do games to make sessions more engaging. It's very flexible and we adapt to the client's needs. We still set goals and review progress just like we would face-to-face. Many providers will also send materials like exercise instructions, visuals, or AAC resources ahead of the session, just so that you have everything on hand for your session.
Well, that's really reassuring to hear. Telehealth might not be for everyone. What are some common concerns or difficulties people have about telehealth, and how do you suggest addressing them?
You're right. Telehealth is wonderful, but we also need to acknowledge a few challenges and how to manage them. Technology barriers. So not everyone has a fast internet connection or the latest device, and that can make video calls tricky. Some people also aren't confident with technology or they're not quite tech savvy. So what providers can do is we can also offer alternatives if it is suitable and the participant doesn't need access to a screen to look at any therapy activities. We can actually do the sessions just via a regular phone call, so just through audio. Engagement difficulties. So some participants, for example, very young children or those participants with high sensory overload or cognitive deficit, they might find it hard to engage through a screen. So what we could do is we can tailor the session. So we can offer shorter sessions throughout the week rather than one long session. So that could help them feel more motivated and engaged because they're not staring at a screen for so long. And then they can have like a family member or a support person there to keep them focused and give them prompts to be engaged as well. What we do with telehealth sessions for participants who aren't engaged or for very young children is we try to make it as fun and motivating with activities that the participant enjoy. However, if we've tried these smaller sessions or these motivating activities and the participants are still finding it hard to engage, then telehealth would probably not be suitable for them. And then we would offer the face-to-face sessions as that would probably increase their engagement more. Hands-on support limitations. So some therapies are hands-on by nature. So for example, physiotherapy exercises or helping a client set up a new equipment in their home. So these can be harder to do remotely. What clinicians can do is they can coach a family member or a carer to physically help perform the exercises on the participant, or the clinician can model the exercises and then ask the participant to try it. If something is truly difficult and can't be done via telehealth, then we'll be honest and suggest an in-person session for that particular task. We can also offer a hybrid model, which is you can do a few telehealth sessions and then you can do a few occasional face-to-face sessions. Managing the environment. So at home, there might be interruptions such as the doorbell, pets, background noise, or just other family members being around and conversing. So the solution to that is we would suggest to set up this telehealth session in a quiet space that's free from any distractions or background noise if possible. However, we understand that life happens, and sometimes if there are any background noise or distractions, we can always pause the session for a little while, for a few minutes, and then resume sessions. So over time, you'll figure out a routine, and it's okay to communicate with us if there are any challenges during the telehealth sessions, and we'll be there to troubleshoot these issues with you.
Thanks, Cindy. Let's say someone listening is interested in trying telehealth for themselves, for a family member, or for their clients. What do they need to do to get started? And do you have any advice to make the first telehealth session go smoothly?
Absolutely. Getting started with telehealth is actually easier than you might think. I'll go through some practical steps and tips. So firstly, basic equipment. Just make sure you have a device that you can use. So it could be a smartphone, a tablet, or a computer with a camera and a microphone. Stable internet connection is important for video. The next is quiet, private space. So planning a spot for your session where you feel comfortable and won't be interrupted. So it could be a bedroom, living room, or any place where you have some privacy and a bit of quiet for the duration of the call. You can test your setup. So it's a good idea to test the video platform beforehand. Many providers actually send you the link and you can try clicking on it and see if it loads. Having the support if needed. So a lot of the time it can be helpful for a support person to be with you during the session, especially if you're unsure about using the technology, so they can make sure that the volume is good and the camera is angled right, and just help you with the general setup of the equipment. And I guess, preparing like any other session, just treat it like a normal appointment. For example, if you have certain exercises or questions, it's a good idea to have your notes or equipment ready nearby. If your child is the participant, it's good to maybe have a favourite toy on hand that might help them engage. Staying open and communicating during the session is a good idea. So if something's not clear or you need a break, you can just let the clinician know. So let them know if you need to pause or if there's a technical issue. You can also use the chat in the app that you're using as well, which is a good way to talk through technical issues. And then reaching out and schedule. So finally, just to get started, talking to your provider or your support coordinator about telehealth options to see if this is something that would be good for you. Most NDIS service providers like LiveBig offer telehealth for many services. You can call or email them and say you're interested in trying a telehealth appointment, and then they'll guide you through the booking and send any instructions you need. Remember that telehealth sessions are funded just like in-person sessions, so you can use your NDIS plan for them. It's really just another way to receive the support, one that could make your life a lot easier.
Thank you so much, Selena and Cindy, for sharing the benefits of allied health support via telehealth for NDIS participants. If you'd like more information about telehealth, reach out to your clinicians or provider such as LiveBig, who can guide you through the process and answer any questions you might have. As always, if you'd like to connect with us and learn more about LiveBig, visit livebig.com.au. And don't forget to subscribe for more conversations like this. Thanks for listening, and we'll catch you next time.
We acknowledge the traditional owners of this nation, whose country we work and live in. We recognise Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders as traditional custodians and their ongoing connections to land and sea. We pay our respects to elders past, present and emerging as law keepers of the world's oldest living culture. We celebrate the stories, culture and traditions of Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islanders so we can, in the true spirit of reconciliation, continue the journey together.